I love that Nintendo Switch!
What's going on, Switch fam? It is your boy QKG, and bro, I am literally just off of beating this game. We are starting a new segment called Hidden Gems, to where we just pretty much look at some of the hidden gems that I've come across. It may be on Switch, it may be on PC, who knows. It just may be a game that I've never really experienced or played, or maybe not even heard of before, but it just grabs your boy. So today we gotta talk about a game. It's a little weird. It's called Deadly Premonition. Now, before you even go ham, because I know Deadly Premonition 2 was released, and it is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, and it is a sequel and prequel, and I know that game had its issues, and of course the updates, you know, kind of got it much in a better space right now. But when it comes down to the first game, this game caught me off guard, and I gotta tell y'all. So let's go ahead and just dive into what Deadly Premonition is about. So you're gonna play as Francis York Morgan, which is a FBI agent that looks like he suffers from two different personalities at first, which he always refers to this person as Zach that he's talking to, but it seems like nobody in the town really, you know, cares about that. Usually if you just hear somebody talking to themselves, you're like, yeah. Usually people don't do that kind of things in front of you, so it leaves you having a lot of questions just in the beginning. So you're gonna find yourself in Greenville, where you're investigating these murders to where they're so grotesque, to where you just walk in and there's this lady on a tree and her stomach's exploded. It's so weird, bro. But then you have the little kids calling her the goddess of the forest, and it sounds like some prophecy level stuff. But the more and more you dive in, the more bizarre the game gets. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, this actually held one of the most bizarre scenes, or just unsettling scenes I've experienced. And I'm debating on whether or not to show it to y'all, because it's... Go ahead and show that shit.
Zach, she's still alive. Who did this? Who was it, Becky?
Becky! What happened here?
George, stay back. She's trying to speak.
We don't have time! She's dying! Thomas, cut that wire. No! We must get her to the hospital immediately.
What?
What are you doing? Get out of the way! I'll do it!
No, don't! George, stop!
I mean, like, when I first ran into that, like, there's things that games will do that hook you in, and the one thing this game did to hook me in was just had an amazing story and great characters. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you can look at this game and be like, hey man, I don't know, QKG, this game look a little booty, but you gotta look at it. I'm not gonna say look at it in a different way. I can't make you like something, but here's what I will say. When I first booted up the game, I was like, because it looked really dated. The animations were really kind of off sometimes, and then the shooting mechanics in the game, I mean, like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's heavy RE4 vibe to where you can't move and shoot. I loved Resident Evil 4, so that's why it didn't bother me as much. But at the same time, I know you could definitely move and shoot, but that was something that I was just like, because even with melee weapons, you can move around, but for some reason when you have a rifle, you can't shoot. One thing that it did to spice it up a little bit was add in these different sections. Of course, when you're being chased by the raincoat killer, you got a bucket, but pretty much the game gave you little bits and pieces here and there. Sometimes they'll give you like a brand new weapon. Like when I got the freaking assault rifle, I was like, oh bro, it's GG, everybody gets Swiss cheese. But then when the game will throw in those segments when you're having to run from the killer, it created a lot of anxiety because I really wanted to complete the game and he was just in the way, and I was just like, I gotta get past you, my guy. So another area where this game shines is actually the soundtrack. I don't know where they got this junk from, how they composed it, but I can't lie, man, it was pretty fire. So the literal soundtrack of the game it can be weird at times where you get this nice happy-go-lucky whistling, and I'm like, bro, this is like the weirdest town ever. But then you have where the music fits the exact moment, like the second you seen the victim just start breathing as you think they're dead, and how every single victim has the same murder happen to them, to where their tongue is chopped off and they're strung up in these weird type of like saw traps and shit. It is so crazy, bro. And then you didn't know who was gonna get the business next. You didn't know who was doing it. You just had to keep on digging. When you go into these areas, the game actually does three main things. One, they actually make sure that you're finding key pieces of evidence. Usually it's 2 to 3 per area. And also it's going to keep you busy with those enemies that are kind of zombie-like. And third, it's going to make sure you run from the raincoat killer because he always on your buns. So literally, that's what you have to experience sometimes going into each different section. Sometimes you get a break. You might have to find a couple key pieces of evidence and you might be done. But that's usually kind of the formula that they keep. And I loved it. So if y'all play this game, please pay extra close attention to everybody, because I got hit with a curveball. But then there was one thing that kind of stuck out, and I was like, yeah, that's fishy right there. There was one thing I saw coming, but plenty of different things I did not see coming. So this game, when it comes down to bringing that level of surprise and storytelling, it did it on a whole nother level, and it did it to the point to where I don't even know if I want to really play the second one right away, because this game was really good. I don't usually have that issue happening that much, that it leaves me scared, because I'm like, I don't want the game to, to be less than what I played, but I know it has improvements here, so I'm gonna just shut up and play the game. I'm really not trying to stretch this video out. I just really did not expect to get hit with that game the way I did. So when you dive into a game, people can get emotionally invested. I mean, there's no secret, the Walking Dead Telltale's game had one of the saddest endings ever, and it literally made me cry, and I had to look. I was like, why am I crying at this? Gonna find out, everybody else crying at it. I'm like, okay, I must be that emotionally invested within this game, or they just did that good of a job. And that's the same exact question I was asking myself at the end of the game. Not that it had a super bad ending, but it was just the emotional roller coaster, bro. The game took you on way too many of them. Way too many. So, let alone, is there any more I need to say about Deadly Premonition without spoiling the story? Because I just refuse to do it. I don't care if I'm the only. I just played the game and it came out in 2010. I'm not doing it. So, overall, man, when it comes down to Deadly Premonition as being a hidden gem, bro, the game, if I could have reviewed it at the time, if I would have reviewed it at the time, y'all would have been pretty shocked with my review, because I've actually seen some of the reviews they gave this game, some 1s and then some 10s here and there. I was like, something ain't right, bro. I was like, I gotta dive in and see for myself. But overall, man, Deadly Premonition is definitely a game. If you see it on sale, because usually the game, I think it's $30 on the eShop standard. I got it on sale because it definitely goes on sale quite often. Definitely pick it up, bro. If this game has interested you any amount, definitely pick it up. I mean, if you're somebody that wants more action, definitely I wouldn't take this route. I mean, there's things to shoot, but you might get bored here and there, low-key. So when it comes to Deadly Premonition, definitely look for a fire story. Definitely look for great characters and just an overall environment. And I can honestly say I have never played a game like this before. Ever. Even though it takes elements from certain games, I have never played anything like it. So I think that's all I got to say about this true hidden gem. I ain't gonna say hidden gem, but definitely a gem. So I would love to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and as always, leave your comments down below on what you think about Deadly Premonition. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and download Daily Premonitions 2 so I can eventually get my review on that, because I'm definitely very late since how this game came out last month. So make sure you jump over to my Discord, to where we just pretty much chop it up like homies, talking about games, whatever else pops up. So I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.
Every woman will find herself about being penetrated by your plot boy.